Hello third year. This video is going to have a look at scatter graphs and something called correlation. Okay, so we're going to look at correlation first just because it's a bit easier and a bit quicker, and then we're going to go through a whole process of constructing a scatter graph, putting it together, and answering questions using that. The work that you're going to do for this week is just on correlation and drawing a scatter graph. That's it. After that, we're going to take it up and we're going to link it back to our straight line work. So you've probably done scatter graphs before, you've probably used them in science. They're a very useful way of seeing if there is a relationship between two variables. Okay, so we put one variable on the x-axis, one variable on the y-axis, and then we check to see, we plot the points from our data or our experiment, whatever it is, our survey possibly. We plot the data onto the graph, and then we have a look to see if the plotted points are heading in a similar direction or whether there seems to be no relationship whatsoever. And there tends to be three possible scenarios. So they are down here. So let's just look at this first one here. Okay, we're looking at, is there a correlation between height and weight? Now, you would probably expect, just thinking logically, you would expect there to be some relationship between these two things. And if you look at the direction that the points are going in general, as we move from left to right on the weight axis, we are going up the way. Yep, so our points are going up as we move from left to right. Okay, that is a positive correlation. Okay, it's what we call a positive correlation. So basically what we're saying is one variable increases, so does the other. Okay, which is exactly what we would expect to happen. In general, the taller somebody is, the heavier they're going to be. Okay, in general. It's not always true, but in general. Okay, if someone is above average height, there is a possibility they could be above the average weight. Okay, so that's the kind of thinking. It makes sense. All right, so it's what we call a positive correlation. Link it back to your gradient work. That would be a positive gradient, wouldn't it? This line is sloping up the way as you move from left to right. Okay, next one. I'm slightly rounding out a room, so let's just make this a slightly different colour. We're looking at soup sales and temperature, and we're comparing those two things. Now, just again, think logically about it. Why would people want to eat warm soup? Probably because it's cold. Yes, it's something to warm you up on a cold day. So as the temperature increases, you're much less likely to want soup and probably going to want something like ice cream to cool you down. Okay, so as temperature increases, what would we expect to happen to soup sales? Well, this is what happens. Look here. You can see that the general trend of these dots is to go down the way. So as we move from left to right on the temperature axis, we are coming down the soup sales axis. Okay, so this is what we call a negative correlation. This is a negative correlation. Okay, and again, so this one, as one variable increases, the other decreases. Okay, so as one variable goes up, in this case temperature, the sale of soup comes down. And if you link it back to your straight line work, this is a negative gradient. Okay, the line is decreasing, sloping downwards as we move from left to right. There's one other possibility, of course, and that is there is no relationship whatsoever between the two variables. Okay. Now, in this particular example, I'm looking over here. All right. I would hope that you know that there is absolutely no relationship between your height and your annual income. Okay. Just because you're tall doesn't mean you're going to earn big money or small money. All right. Just because you're a bit smaller, below average height, doesn't mean you're going to earn big money or small money. There is no relationship there whatsoever. Okay. So in that situation, what we would say is there is, let's not do that or that. There's no correlation. There's no relationship between those two values. Okay, so that would just be a no correlation. You can easily draw a straight line that would kind of join most of those points together. There's no relationship there. It is just a scattered bunch of points. Okay, so there's no correlation there. And those are the three options on correlation. Okay, that section there will allow you to do question 2 on the worksheet. I'm going to stop the video and I'm just going to create a second video to go through the next part here.